So UFC Azerbaijan is this weekend, and the first time I've ever had to do this, but I'm changing my pick. I've chosen Khalil Rountree via, I think, KO in the early rounds or a decision. I can't really remember. I literally recorded that video in like 10 minutes, super quick, sort of just remember the fights of what I can remember, and just there, I'm choosing this guy instead of actually looking at the fights. But Khalil Rountree, he's fucking shit. Like, he's not that good. And it took me like halfway through the week, and I was like, why is everyone going with Jamahal Hill? Jamahal Hill was pretty average. And I was like, you know what? Jamahal Hill isn't bad. It's because he's been finished really early and he gets better as the fight goes on. And as well as that, who is Khalil Rountree? Like, we know Khalil Rountree as the guy who almost beat Pereira. But as well as that, he's just the biggest shitter in UFC. And as well as that, what do we remember Hill as? We remember Hill as the guy who got the fucking emoted on by Pereira. Not dominated. It was a close fight. He got beaten the shit out of. It was a war. And then he got KO'd by Yuri, who again hits different. These two guys, they hit different, right? We are talking about Khalil Rountree here, who you look at him, you look at the guy and you're like, this guy's really powerful, and he screams when he hits a shot, which is kind of like an illusion. He does hit hard. I wouldn't want to get hit by him, right? But let's be real, right? His power isn't like you have to be very aware of this. He had a war with Anthony Smith. He's garbage. He is garbage. Everyone else has managed to make him quit, but Khalil Rountree couldn't, and he's apparently this big, powerful guy we need to be aware of. Also, why the fuck is he getting custom shorts done? He hasn't achieved anything in the sport. He's the biggest shitter, and I'll get onto that in a second. But yeah, right? Because we look at Hill. You know, it was a quick fight. Nothing really much happened, and then bang, he's out cold, right? Oh, absolute war, but then he got caught with a shot and out cold. There's no... These two guys are the best in the division. These two guys... Ah, fuck, I now went on the wrong one. Pereira and Yuri are the best two guys in the division. The thing is, I didn't really know Hill that well. I saw his Johnny Walker KO, which is that goofy one. And then I saw his Glover Teixeira beatdown. People don't forget. People need to stop forgetting how good Hill actually is. Like, he is good. I don't think he's ever going to touch a belt again. I'm going to be honest. I don't think Khalil Rountree will. I think a lot of the people in the top 5 would beat him, to be honest. Right? But Hill beat the absolute shit out of Glover when everyone else was getting pretty much humiliated by him. You know what I mean? Like, after this fight, I thought he would genuinely beat Prohaska. But what I am worried about with Hill is that... And also, before I get onto that, people using MMA math. Oh, Hill got finished by Pereira in the first round, while Pereira had a war with him and then got finished, right? Khalil Rountree got finished by Walker. MMA math does not add up that way. It doesn't add up that way. It really doesn't add that way. I know this is a horrible image. It's off Google. It's horrible. But Khalil Rountree is the biggest shitter in UFC. Like, he's most known for getting KO'd by this guy, Johnny Walker, goofiest fighter in the division. Any sort of skill, he loses to them, right? And then robbing Jacoby. Jacoby is like just outside the rankings. And I thought he won that fight pretty fucking clearly. And in fact, I was actually watching that with family at the time, and they actually thought, how did the black guy get the decision? That's word for word what they said. You know, he didn't win that fight. And then you look into it a bit more. Hill is actually a good fighter. Like, and he has a bit goofy moments where he steps over his own feet, trips over his own feet. But, like, the thing is, this is the difference I've noticed. Islam does the exact same thing. He crosses his feet, falls over himself, loses balance, right? And he's called the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. I don't think so. I think it's Jack Della Maddalena or an Ilia Topuria, but we'll get onto that on a different video. Obviously, they need to prove it first. Obviously, Islam's already proven it. Just put it at that part. What the fuck? What was the fuck was I on about? But Hill is genuinely good. Like, he actually is good. Like, he's got decently good boxing, to be fair. He uses high kicks and normal kicks pretty good too. And as well, he does switch his stance now and then, not too often, but he does switch his stance. He's a southpaw, remember. This is a southpaw and southpaw battle. You know what I mean? And as well, we need to mention that the Pereira fight. You know what? And then we need to remember the Pereira fight. Pereira was ill, probably was jet lag going into it. You know what I mean? And Khalil even then couldn't beat Pereira. When everything went wrong for Pereira, he still got beat the shit out of. I think Khalil is probably the most overrated fighter on the planet for this fight. Literally had 2 good rounds, and the second round was pretty close, right? Everyone is like, oh my god, Pereira, I think it was a war, and all this type of stuff. No, it wasn't. Well, it was, but like, you know what I mean? Like, we're overglazing Rountree's performance there. Because realistically, when everything goes wrong for Pereira, he should have probably beaten him, but he didn't. And Pereira still managed to pull it out. Big respect to Pereira. And as well as that, I think this is how I see the fight going. I see the first round, Hill getting pieced up quite a bit. And this is where I'm worried, because I feel like Hill's chin might give up here. Right? But I think as the fight goes on, Hill gets better and better and better and better and better. And that's where I think we're going to see a 4th round TKO. And I don't think that's a wild take to have, considering that if you watch the second round against Yuri, he was actually doing well. I think he won that round. I think it was 1-1 going into the third, where obviously Yuri got the finish, and Yuri beats everyone. He beats everyone. No, I'm joking. He probably gets finished by Ankalaev, but like, we can only pray that Yuri is champion again, because he's actually a fucking warrior. He's actually a warrior, but right. I think we're going to see a Thiago Santos performance on Hill. Pretty fucking similar. And you know what, while we're at it, I think, yeah, Fazeev Bamondes, I really think Fazeev might have a remember me moment. I've got a feeling about it, but I'm going to steal my Bamondes pick. But yeah, I think I'm going to end the video there now. I think I've waffled on a bit too much. But yeah, I think we're going to see a Jamahal Hill 4th round TKO, and he's going to remind everyone who he is. But I don't think he'll ever touch a belt again, and all that type of stuff. But yeah, if he wins this fight, then, well, who does he fight? Like a Olberg? Maybe an Olberg? And then you have Yuri fight for the belt? Because Pereira is retired or something? Who knows? But that's the video. Comment your opinions. Like, this is the first time I've had to rush a second prediction to my already existing prediction. But you got to remember, with that prediction, I was literally like, right, I need to quickly record this while I've got the time, instead of actually like looking at the fights and all that type of stuff. Because the minute I looked at the fights, I was like, Hill's gonna beat this guy, and obviously a motorbike would go by. But yeah, comment your predictions of the whole card. Yeah, do you want to fuck off? I don't know if you can hear that, but it's a biker just zooming up and down the fucking street. Fucking hate them. But yeah, comment your predictions, like the video, subscribe. We're going to have videos back out as normal for the 317 fight week. And yeah, also, do not count out Oliveira. But yeah, that's the video. See you later.